Welcome to Clean and Sober Stoner.
Hey, we've been talking about doing this for a long time.
I know.
And what sucks is it's going to be really hard not to sound like we're reading off a script. So, Julie, how do you feel being on Clean and Sober? But it's going to be hard because we talk about this stuff so often.
It feels great. Thanks.
So,
It's like a business meeting at night.
as long as we amuse ourselves.
It's really all that matters.
That's all that matters. So, it's been a year.
A year?
It was a year ago, I think, in a couple weeks that I wrote the Mammoth Weed Wizard Bastard review.
Yeah.
That kind of got things kickstarted as far as starting to take the blog seriously.
Yeah.
Do you remember what your reaction was when I first told you I write a heavy metal stoner doom blog?
I was like, how long have you had this blog?
Let me read this blog. And you went, there's nothing here.
Right. How long had it been? Like, you had done it for 7 years or something crazy?
At that point, it was 6 years. I think I wrote an average of 2.2 times per year.
Yeah. And then I said, this is fun. I should start one.
I know. You started, what do we call it? Okay Doomer?
Okay, Doomer.
Okay Doomer, a kind of a play on Boomer. By the way, I always feel a need to explain my jokes. Because sometimes you have that blank face and I can't tell if you get it. And if you didn't get it, I'm going to repeat it until you do. Because that's just how I am.
Thanks for me.
I remember your first post did like better than anything I had written.
It had gotten like, 20 or something, and we were all excited because it got 20 hits.
Ooh. And that was it within like a week, I think.
Yeah.
And then I think that's what fired me up because I heard Mammoth Weed Wizard Bastard. By the way, The Harvest, my number one album for 2022.
Yeah.
On my Doom charts. I don't think I mentioned that I'm in the Doom charts often enough. Seriously, it's like I'm so afraid of bragging that I don't say anything about it. But I remember you fired me up, and it's like your first post was Mesa. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like we had watched it at your place, and
you
were all excited about it. Yeah, we watched it on YouTube, which was really cool because they had like the saxophone in it, right. and it was a really good song.
That's right. I played She Knows and Tulsi.
Right.
So if you don't know, and I'll try to get a link in the description, it's a great video by Mesa. It's a combination of live performance, and then they do some acted stuff, which usually I'm kind of ambivalent about, but Sarah alone in a little boat, staring, witchily, like she's a witch.
Yeah.
Into the distance and the fog. So when I introduced you to the music, do you remember what your reaction was? I know we had talked about it earlier.
I think I thought it was going to be like really, really hard, like the screaming lyrics, right? The really like death metal. And I was like, that's not my fave, right? But like Mesa was a decent song, and to me it's more like a regular rock song, right? Maybe it's harder than some of the stuff like from the 80s, the hair band, age, but to me it's like it's good music, and I think I don't understand why it's not more mainstream.
Right. Well, I think part of it is called stoner doom to begin with.
Yeah.
I think that's a barrier to entry. Mm-hmm. Although marijuana being legalized, millions of people, tens of millions of people. But I think there's something off-putting about the name.
Yeah, I agree with that, because there's not a lot of soccer moms that I know that want to tool around in their minivan with this stoner doom rock on, right, talking to their other moms about
I don't know.
Hard rock.
I think our logo would make a great sticker.
It would. I don't know how many women would buy it. But
by the way, and this is a cheap setup question. Who designed that logo?
I
remember, we can go all over. I remember sitting on the porch, and you were just doodling away at this thing.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted. And then I found that T-shirt for headphones.com.
Uh-huh.
That is a picture. It's like it has a tape deck for the eyes, and then I think it's keyboards for the teeth, the mouth, and it's like. And what you did was exactly what I was looking for with the headphones, and I was a little worried it'll look too much like Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
Not my favorite band.
Yeah, I know, but it was. I felt like, I kind of asked you what you were looking for, and we were able to bring that together, and the purple. You want to explain what the purple lettering is? Right,
because I had to show her the Master of Reality album, and I think I showed you like 2 versions. One that was just the purple, which is the original, and then the album had this like raised gloss that had Master of Reality on it.
Yeah.
And then when they reissued it, you had the purple on purple.
Yeah. So we made lots of versions, didn't we? Like the white, the gray skull, the black skull. So you could use whatever version you want.
So I don't think I've asked you this in about an hour or 2. Do you remember when all of a sudden I want your memory and your recollection when we went, oh, there's a there, I think is what I was trying to say.
I think it was because you in my recollection, it was because you started getting more and more hits on your work, and you started to get people would like it, like, record labels or whatever. And then I think we were about ready to quit, and one of the, public affairs, like one of the
the PR firms.
One of the PR firms reached out, and you were like, "Oh my God!" So I think that's when we kind of said, there's probably a there.
Oh yeah, because I went, oh crap, and I found it in late August, September.
Yeah.
And they had sent me these things in July, and I had no idea. I never went to cleanandsoberstoner@gmail.com. That's cleanandsoberstoner@gmail.com. I hadn't gone on there in like months. And then I looked in the promotions, because usually it's Planet Fitness and, your car insurance, and extended warranties. And there's like 30 emails from Claire, who just had her birthday. Happy birthday, Claire.
Happy birthday, Claire.
From Purple Sage PR.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, crap.
And then I remember us talking about, like, you really love it, right? You really love Clean and Sober. And we were talking about, like, how much time should you spend on Clean and Sober? And I was like, why don't you just take a couple months and just really focus?
And I'm like, no.
Right, no.
No, because we have 2 businesses. We have the life coaching and then my counseling and private practice. But do you remember the moment when it became very clear that something had to happen here? You don't remember?
I don't think so.
I think this one right here. I don't know if the audience can see it. Vitskar Suden, who eternally grateful to Vitskar Suden. Somehow they found my post.
Right.
And then they put it on blast. And I remember sitting in bed and getting ready to go to sleep. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm at 30, which was like breaking a record. And then, oh my God, 50 people have read this thing. If it keeps going like this, it's going to be 60. And I think when we went to bed, it was like 75.
And you were like, I can't believe this is actually happening.
Because that one post from Vitskar Suden, by the way, I'll always be grateful. That's more hits than I had like in a year.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. It really ramped you up. Like, it was like the spike of all spikes in your career.
It was a completely flat line. It's like the patient is dead. There's no heartbeat, and all of a sudden, boop, boop.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh crap! And that's when you said, take 2 to 3 months, and here we are.
Yeah.
So, do you remember? And yeah, it's a setup question. I'll admit it. But do you remember the first Stoner Doom that you found on your own?
Oh, I remember because we used to trade songs in the mornings when we would get up. And so I was looking through like a Stoner Doom playlist, and I found 1,000 Mods.
Yeah.
Cigarette. Is that what it's called?
Right now I'm so excited, plus the camera's on. But it was 1,000 Mods, and it's an album that I listened to once, like years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm totally shocked that of all the things you could find in the universe, it was 1,000 mods. I'll have to remember to put the title of the song in here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was huge. And you seem to really like that song.
I did. I really liked it. It felt like something that I would add to my playlist. So I remember I told you about it, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I should write something on them." And I was like, "Back off, man! It's mine. I found it." So my post will be posted soon on the site for 1,000 mods.
Yeah, I think we had. So we're closing down your website.
Right. Okay, Doomer is gonna go away.
Okay, Doomer, but we're keeping the URL.
Yeah, the URL's there.
Yeah, so we could redirect.
Yeah.
But that's going away, and as of today, you're officially a writer.
I know.
On cleanandsoberstoner.com.
Yeah, with all my extra free time.
Right, we should let them know. She's also an executive at a Fortune 500 company that we honestly really can't say what it is.
Nope.
I think that goes. You'd talk to HR, wouldn't you?
I have to get permission. Yeah.
And I would like to see that permission form.
Would you?
Where you permission to, appear on YouTube and write for Clean and Sober Stoner.
I don't think it specifically calls that out.
So, like I said, you really dug 1,000 mods.
I did.
And in September, who are we going to see?
We're going to Desert Fest, New York.
So Desert Fest, New York?
Yeah, so 1,000 mods will be there.
Right.
Lopan, which I just wrote today.
Right.
I listened to Pathfinder.
Right.
Melvin's is going to be there. Truck Fighters.
Oh my God.
Wait.
Who's the big one?
Color Haze.
Color Haze in the United States, in New York, with 1,000 mods.
Uh-huh.
That lineup is so stacked, and I haven't even told you about Boris.
Right, Boris is on there.
Boris is on there, so I'll be able to, if I can meet Wata, and maybe do an interview with her.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Sure. We obviously haven't gone into amplifier worship yet, but you have a lot to learn. But
I do.
But I'm really surprised because your music, your playlist, if you were to make a playlist today, right now, what are the bands that are going to be on? Not Stoner Doom, but your music.
So I have a wide variety of music I listen to, but I listen to a lot of pop, right? So like Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift. I have Katy Perry. So like a lot of the more poppy.
And I make fun of you because if it has auto-tune, you'll listen to it.
Right. Sounds good to me.
Being a fan of Monolord, I really shouldn't be poking stones, and I plan on doing a write-up on that.
Yeah.
And how the whole anti-auto-tune thing, it's still a creative, it's an artistic decision, it's a creative decision, and it's just boomer brain and gatekeeping for me to say that, auto-tune isn't legit.
I agree. The other thing that really turned me off to Stoner Doom when I started, I don't know if you remember, is like how long the songs are. Pop songs, like 3 to 4 minutes, okay?
No,
Doom songs, like 6 minutes is like short for y'all.
Well, yeah, and I haven't played you Dope Smoker yet.
Is that the 30-minute one?
Yeah.
Or an hour?
And then, I don't know if the audience can see it, I have Bell Witch, Mirror Reaper, which I might assign you as a project.
Like, that's a big commitment.
So the long songs, but you also notice some things about the songs.
There's always a song within the song.
Right.
Like, because it's, I don't know if it's because it's so long. You guys are like, I'm tired of playing this one. Let's play this one. But there's always like a switch in there somewhere. Even with Lopan today. It's like a 4.5 minute song. No, it's a 6-minute song. And about minute 3, it kicks into the next thing. It goes like almost double tempo.
And Lopan usually doesn't do that. It's usually with Lopan, it's 2.5, 3 minutes. Bam! They get their point across. So you don't like the length of the songs.
Yeah, I mean, I can do the 6-minute song, but
okay. But what about Caius Whitewater?
How long is that one?
It's like 10 minutes.
Is it?
Doesn't feel like it, though.
It does. That one does not. Although I hate the lickadoo thing on the end.
Lickadoo's not part of Whitewater. It.
According to Spotify, it is. And I always get to that part and I'm like, this is stupid.
Friends, don't use Friends. Use Spotify.
Yes. Bandcamp. Only Bandcamp.
Well, that's the General.
Oh.
The General from Stoner Rock Army. That was the other thing that put us over, right?
Yeah, you got invited to write with Stoner Rock Army.
Yeah, we were on our way to pick up some fast food.
Yeah.
Or something. And all of a sudden, I asked Stoner Rock if I could contribute, and he said, no, we have enough. And so I'm like...
Why is he Spanish all of a sudden?
No, that was my bad French.
Oh.
That's my French accent, you silly English kidnigget. But I say, so he says no, and then I'm like kind of bummed, and I'm like, ooh, I'll show him. I'll be the best writer I can. And like 10 minutes later, he's like, I was maybe a little harsh. And then we worked, that deal made no sense to you at all.
No, because yeah, I was worried, like, what's going to happen to your stuff? Right. Like, does the General own it, or do you own it? Yeah. Right? And it was like, what, you can write, and the deal is he gets 2 beers? Sometime?
Well, yeah, I own 2 beers when we meet him in Montreal at some point.
Right.
No, the deal is I just have the Stoner Rock Army logo.
Oh, yes.
And I have it on the website. Mm-hmm. And it's a gentleman's agreement.
Gotcha.
And that you could not wrap your head around. How does that happen?
Well, because I'm a business person, right? And so if it's not in writing in a contract, there's no CYA coverage there.
I wrote a post on the Stoner Rock Army. Mm-hmm. The General does things the way I think they should be done. Like, one, he has strict control over that. But that's what's so wonderful about it is no shenanigans are going to get through.
Right.
There's no stoned Meadow of Doom bullshit, which I'll tell you the story about Stoned Meadow of Doom at some point. I will metal-splain to you.
Great. I can't wait.
Which is my favorite coined term. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he runs everything strict, but when he says something, everybody in the community, and I do mean everybody, knows he means it. He'll follow up on it, and it's been nothing but benefit,
right?
For both. So eternally grateful. So Vitskar Suden, then Stoner Rock Army, and now here we are today. So
and then Doom Charts. Don't forget Doom Charts.
I was gonna say that for the next. We need material, but yeah, Doom Charts. You asked me like a week before that happened.
Yeah.
So what would it take to be on the Doom Charts?
Yeah.
And I think I was drinking something and it came out my nose.
Water.
I'm like,
yeah.
That'll be the day. I figured maybe a year from now.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that I used to be on a headphone forum on HeadFi. Traditional metal thread, no blast beats. And I don't like death metal and black metal. But Fast and Bulbous was a friend of mine. And we used to argue. Like, we got into a pretty big argument about Black Sabbath. Someday I can do a podcast with Tony, and it'll come up. But he read something that I wrote that I posted to the headphone forum. And he's like, hey, that was pretty good. Do you think about joining the Doom Charts? And I'm like, ah!
It was like a little girl scream. Ah!
So I think I officially became part of the Doom Charts on like January 2nd. And then I had the December Doom Charts. We're doing like a day. Uh-huh. And then I had to do the 2022. Yeah. And for those of you, if anybody actually read my stuff, the list I submitted on Clean and Sober Stoner for my top 10 or whatever it was is not the same as what I put into Doom Charts.
Right, because you missed something.
And I don't like ranking. I don't like rating.
You don't.
But if I'm gonna play with the big boys, I'm gonna play their rules. Mm-hmm. So. And ranking actually has made it easier.
Has it?
It has.
Look, you're growing.
So anyway, that's just a sneak peek to behind the scenes with us. I wanted to get Julie on camera for the first time. And I predict at least 10 people will watch this.
Probably our friends and family.
Mom will watch it.
Yeah,
my cousin. Hi, Mark. Hey. And of course, Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy, our
we
friend
should both
Tracy.
wave and say hi, Tracy.
Hi,
Tracy.
Like and subscribe. How many times can we say it?
Until we can buy an actual camera.
What?
I know. But thankfully, we have an Apple M1 MacBook Pro.
They don't give you gear, so you don't need the.
I know.
There's no placement payment.
I'm just saying that you never know. I mean, the whole world woke up to U2 on their iPhone and iPod like a few years ago.
That's true.
And it's been nothing but uphill for U2 ever since. And congratulations on your Las Vegas residency. Way to go, Bono. Anyway, I might edit that one out.
It's a beautiful day.
A little bit of snark on my end.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for now. Really, if you want to see and hear more of Julie and myself, I'd like to do some reviews.
Yeah.
So, and are you going to be with us when I do clean?
I don't know. I hadn't planned on it, but I could.
Be awesome if you were here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this, however long the silliness is after I edit. I predict I'll edit like 95% out, and we'll end up with a YouTube short.
That's great.
Except it's in the wrong perspective.
Well, aren't all of our perspectives wrong?
Thank you. We've had a lot of fun. It really means a lot to us, and we have a lot more coming. So have a great, safe weekend. Do not drink and drive.
Nope.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.